Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox. Welcome back to my channel. All right, let's talk about the Breonna Taylor case. Let's talk about the death of a feminist icon. Let's talk about Michael Bloomberg and LeBron James. And let's talk about the Rona check-in. See how y'all doing. Okay, you guys. So like many of you today, I am not in the best of spirits. Cannot say that I didn't see it coming, but yet and still, once it does come, it is like a slap in the face. It is like a spit in the face. It's really this Breonna Taylor case, or should I say non-Breonna Taylor case, because really Breonna Taylor doesn't have anything to do with the case that's been brought upon Brett Hankinson, the officer that they have claimed his bullet, they believe, is the bullet that killed Breonna Taylor. Let me back up. So you guys already know the case. Breonna Taylor was killed in her apartment as she laid asleep with her boyfriend. There were 3 police officers who conducted a no-knock warrant, busted in. The boyfriend shot at them. They shot back in retaliation, and the result was they killed Breonna Taylor, who had nothing to do with the case that they were working upon. The person that they were actually looking for in this warrant was already in jail. Okay, so there is a lot that goes on in this case, but the bottom line is a black woman was killed in her own home, innocent, did not do anything, bled out in her bedroom, and here we are many months later. I mean, this happened in March, I believe. So we are now in September, and we find out yesterday that the grand jury, I did tell you guys that the grand jury was going to look at this case and see what they could do. And the best that they could do was come back with Wanton endangerment, that they charged 3 charges, I believe, against Brett Hankinson. Because listen, I didn't write down anything. I'm not going to have all of the formal charges here for you, because I was just so pissed with this that I'm just like, I just don't feel like giving it any more of my time. Okay. So I'm just kind of telling you guys off of the top of my head. He basically was charged wanton endangerment for shooting the bullets that went through the walls and endangered, basically could have killed her neighbors. Okay. And yes, that is important. We don't want anybody to get shot in a situation like this. But how do you charge him for shooting through a wall to endanger other people when you don't charge him for shooting a woman who was in her own apartment? You had to shoot at this person in order for it to even get to the wall, to get through the wall, to possibly hit somebody else. Okay. So basically what the grand jury is saying is that they are not looking at the fact that inside this apartment, which is what we are all talking about, you've killed this woman. There is absolutely no, he's not brought to any type of charge for that. I think the family wanted a manslaughter charge. They had already realized that they weren't going to get a murder charge on this, so we were trying to go for at least a manslaughter charge. That didn't happen. Okay. Basically what they said was, yeah, we shouldn't have been shooting through the walls. What were you shooting at? It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Yesterday, I actually was watching when the grand jury, finally came with their verdict. And I was like, what are these initials? They were like saying that, that went into the home of initial CZ and initial ST and, initial this, that, and the other. And I was so confused. But, it didn't take long for me to realize that they were actually talking about endangering the lives of her neighbors. It makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense. And then to put on top of that, you pay this family $12 million. So you obviously realize that you are at fault. Okay. That's a given. Nobody gives you $12 million and they don't think they did anything. All right. So you give the family $12 million. It's still up to you whether you believe or not that they were trying to pay this family off for their silence. It doesn't even really matter what if the family is silent or not, because it already shows that they had already made the decision that they were not going to charge those police officers. And you guys, it's just so frustrating. I've been listening to the radio this morning. I've listened to the legal team of Tamika, Breonna's mother. I've listened to all type of political pundits. I've watched CNN. I mean, I've read up on things, and you just don't know what to do any longer. What I do know, though, is that this legal system that we have right now is not set up in any type of way to protect us. Which is not surprising. And I'm not saying that, as if it's some big aha moment, because we know that. I just feel like there has to be some changes to the legal system itself, to the laws that are in place. We've got to make changes to that. And the only way that you can really do that is through voting. I know what a lot of people are saying. People are discouraged. People are mad, angry, and feel like, well, we voted in the past and it still hasn't worked. But honestly, people don't turn up to vote like they should. We've seen it work, because when Barack Obama was up, for his first term of presidency, everybody Black was out there voting. And what happened? President Barack Obama became President Barack Obama. So it does work. But people have to be real with themselves and decide if they are going to do the work to make it happen. And yes, I understand that there are people out there that feel like voting is, you can't do the vote without demanding something. And I'm perfectly fine with that. Yes, you should demand that your candidate has your best interest at heart. Who put somebody in office that ain't gonna do shit for them? I mean, and that's by the most basic terms. Even on your job, when you get somebody to, get in charge of whatever, of the damn Christmas party, you want to make sure that you have somebody that is going to be the one that makes it the grandest, okay, the nicest, okay? Well, all the way up to our political process of demanding things from the person that you put in office. Yes, you definitely should do that. Nobody should blindly vote, even though I have told you guys that I was voting for Biden. I don't give a fuck. I am so over WISAP that I was going to vote for whoever was going against him. I've told you guys that. That might not be the best way to do things, but right now I don't give a damn. He has got to get out of office. But I'm getting off track. This case in particular, we have done so many things to try to get them to listen to us, okay? We have protested, we have rioted, we have fought, we have cried to the people, we have tried to have all of these large movements. We've tried to tell you that Black Lives Matter. I mean, we have tried to get you to see things from our viewpoint, and none of that works. None of it works. The laws have to be changed, you guys, and it is an uphill battle for sure. Definitely not going to be easy, because if you are the one that's benefiting from this, why would you want it to change? If you were the Hankinsons of the world and the rest of the officers that was involved in that case, why would you want the system to change so now all of a sudden you won't be protected? But I want people to understand that it's just so tiring to try to explain to people that Black people are human beings, the same as anybody else. The only difference is the color of the skin. The only difference. And yes, there's cultural differences and things like that, but at the most basic, we are human. And you just can't get people to understand that these days. Then I won't even talk about the fact that she's a Black woman. And I know people are tired of hearing the whole Black women are the most unprotected, but try being a Black woman and how you would feel when you see these type of verdicts come about. It's so frustrating. So frustrating. And as I watched, TV this morning and read and looked at the radio, listened to the radio stations, I got madder because yesterday, honestly, I was not even that mad. I was just like, well, I knew this was coming. I've been telling you guys how many weeks now? You guys, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think that they're going to bring any type of justice to them, even though, the attorney general had promised the mother that, some charges were going to be brought upon. Well, he didn't lie. Okay. He didn't lie. We got charges. Each of those charges, they say, 5 years that he could do in prison. This is if he gets the maximum. So maximum 15 years. All right. But like I said, these aren't for Breonna Taylor's death. These are for possibly injuring her neighbors. And from what I could tell, none of the neighbors were injured. So they're not going to give him a 5-year, they're not going to give him a maximum when everybody is okay. Yeah, they got holes in in their ceiling, in their walls. We can patch that up and go on about our business. Okay, can't patch up Breonna Taylor, and they obviously don't care. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Sometimes I get on here and feel like I'm supposed to have answers, and I don't. I read these stories, I watch them on the news, I see them happening in real time, just like the rest of you guys, and I just be like at my wit's end, like, what are we supposed to do? I don't know how the family might feel. I'm not sure what this means legally. If the family is even able to still continue to press forward. I mean, once a grand jury looks at things, does that end it? My rock star lawyers out there, just kind of weigh in. Like, is this it? I don't know if it can be appealed and if it can go on and on, because the grand jury to me seems like that is the highest of the juries. Like, we're going to look at this and then we're going to even let you know if it's worth going to court or not. So, I mean, I might be wrong on that. You guys can correct me on that if you but it's so frustrating. You guys can weigh in on it and how you feel about it. Were you surprised by the verdict? Were you at least expecting? I mean, even if you was going to do some wanton endangerment, how about wantonly endangering Breonna Taylor? Like, no charges against this person who has lost their life. Okay. No charges for endangering her boyfriend who was right in the bed next to her. Like, anyway, you guys let me know how you feel about it. Drop all those comments down below. Okay, rock stars, next story. Rest in peace to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She, like I said, was the feminist icon, but I mean, so much more than that. She was the Supreme Court Justice who sat and fought for us, for you, for many people. Of course, she definitely fought for women's rights, women's equality. She argued for racial and gender equality. She fought the many different stereotypes that went along with the pay of women and men in the workplace. Okay, changed many of the laws of pay discrimination. She was at the forefront fighting for decades on the Supreme Court. Her voice was so important to the Supreme Court as it continues to try to move to a more conservative lean. She fought ferociously. She was a force to be reckoned with. She was a person who was small in stature, but big in her battles against whatever she felt strongly about. I could go on and on about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I've read up a lot on her. I've always known who she was, but did not know particular cases that she was important in. But this woman has done a lot. And when I tell you that the liberals have really lost a voice in the Supreme Court, yes, they have. she balanced out the court and made things fairer. And it's just it's a huge loss for the American people. Okay, even the people who didn't realize that they were being benefited by her fight, they are losing out as well. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is a big voice that is gone. She was fighting a battle with metastatic pancreatic cancer, and she's been fighting it for a long time. We have, in the last year or two, we've seen her going in and out of the hospital, and I was getting nervous. I knew that the time was getting near. She was fighting. She was trying to stay in that seat. I knew she was trying to make it to just past the election, but here we are a couple of months shy of the election, and not even a couple of months, a month and 10 days, basically 40 days shy of the election, and she's passed. Well, actually, it's been more than that because she died last Friday. But yeah, big loss, a huge loss. And when it hit on Friday evening, I was saddened because I just knew that this was going to be a big shift in what has already been a huge shift in like the last 4 fucking years. You know, don't even want to disrespect her legacy by talking about filling of the seat. But the reality is that the Republicans are in a huge rush to fill this seat. YSAP has already said that he is going to name a person on Saturday. And true to the Republicans, they have all banded together and said that they will confirm the spot, ASAP. Evidently, YSAP has decided that he is going to place a woman in there because he knows that the women are the key to this future. I done told y'all that plenty damn times. Okay, the women's vote is very important. And yeah, Joe Biden hit him with the Kamala Harris swing, and so now he's swinging back with not only putting, possibly having 2 women at the top of the list, but one of them is a Cuban in Florida. Okay, you guys, her name is Barbara Lagos. Okay, and then there is another woman in Indiana named Amy Coney Barrett. She is also, those 2 women are at the top of the list. And like I said, we can expect for him to probably place one of them up for confirmation in that seat. Okay, now he's already placed one person in the seat right after he became YSAP. That seat, you guys remember, belonged to Scalia. And Barack Obama, who was the president when Scalia passed away, wanted to fill the seat. All right. The Republicans fought and said no because it is too close to the election. It's an election year, and they should wait for the person that comes in as the new president to make that choice. Okay. Now, this was something like 8 months before the election. Okay. Oh, how quickly the Republicans forget. Now we are not 2 months. I just told you 40 fucking days. We are 40 days away from the election. And they all of a sudden have decided that, we're going to go on and confirm the placement of whoever YSAP puts in so that they can make sure that they ensure this spot really could go on for decades, you guys. The women are young. And when you are placed as a Supreme Court justice, you are there until you die or you retire. Okay. So that is what the big fight is. The Democrats are mad about it and are trying the best way that they can to stop this from happening. But it's going to happen, you guys. The Democrats don't really have any leverage. There's no way. The Senate is controlled by the Republicans, and the Senate is going to confirm it. They've already said it. The Republicans have already done it. Okay. You got to hand it to the Republicans. Them motherfuckers don't give a fuck. They will stick together if it is for the good of their party, and they don't really care about how it might affect the rest of the U.S. citizens. If you are not a part of their party, then they don't care. All right. And I guess that's how Both sides are to an extent, but it still is way more gangster when it comes to the Republicans, way more. And it's very upsetting. And, the Democrats are pulling out all of the stops. They're trying to get this, stopped whichever way that they can. I just read yesterday that they've invoked some 2-hour rule, and now they're saying that the Republicans or the Senate cannot do any work after they've met together for 2 hours. So whatever shit you're trying to get done, it better be done in them 2 hours. And then after that, you're not allowed to have any more meetings or discussions until the next work day. I don't see how that's going to stop anything, though, because White Sap has already said that he is going to put the person in place and they're going to confirm it, and that's that. Okay. What it's going to end up doing, making them all put the pause button on probably the stimulus package. Now they're arguing and fighting over the placement of the Supreme Court justice. Okay. So if they can't talk for more than 2 hours, then what do you think is going to be at the top of their list right now? So once again, the stimulus package, which we'll talk about, in the Rona CheckIn later, but that keeps getting pushed and pushed back because of every other type of distraction that comes about. So now it's the discussion of who is going to be in that Supreme Court seat. So that's the bullshit that comes along with, the death of this legacy. It's unfortunate that the woman hadn't even been dead for a day, and all the talk was about that seat. Okay. Now, people definitely have tremendous respect for Ruth Bader Ginsburg and have been out, talking, and we've seen people that have worked for her. As a matter of fact, yesterday I saw that when they brought her body to the Supreme Court, they had over 100 of her clerks that had worked with her over the years up until current. They all stood outside. They all had on black suits. They all had on black masks, and they all paid their respects to this woman who was being brought in, flag draped over the casket. She will be there in repose for people to walk by and pay their respects. It is a big deal. She's the first woman that will lay in lay in state in the U.S. Capitol. The family had a private ceremony for her yesterday. She will lie in state throughout the day today, so people can go and view the body, social distance. They have her body up the stairs, but you can still go and see her one last time. She's going to be officially buried on September 29th. After Yom Kippur. They're going to lay her to rest in a private ceremony at the Arlington National Cemetery, and she's going to be laid alongside her husband, Marty, who was her husband of 56 years. He died in 2010. She will be laid to rest alongside him. She leaves behind 2 children, daughter Jane and son James. I'm sure a host of family and friends, but just an unmentionable amount of people that she has benefited, protected, fought for, trailblazed, opened pathways, opened doors, fought the good fight. She has helped millions, and I mean that. Our democracy has definitely lost someone very, very, very important, and her death will definitely show itself in the resulting laws that come about, in the cases that come before the Supreme Court. We'll feel it, even if the person that Trump puts in place doesn't happen, which I believe it will. Even if it doesn't happen, we will definitely feel her loss. She was 87 years old. Rest in peace to the notorious RBG. That was a name that she actually thought was cute and would add into many of her speeches, bringing up the things that she hadn't familiar with, the notorious B.I.G. They're both from Brooklyn. But anyway, you guys, rest in peace to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. All right, you guys, let's try to talk about something positive today. Shout out to Michael Bloomberg and to LeBron James. They have donated much of their money to help the felons that have huge tabs in Florida. They're going to pay off their restitution, their fines that came along with their convictions, so that they can vote. I read that Michael Bloomberg gave $16 million of his own money to regain voting rights for somewhere around 32,000 felons now. He has helped 32,000 felons clear their bills so that they can vote. You guys, back in 2018, Florida did pass a law that said that convicted felons can now vote as long as they don't have any bill. Everything had to be settled, but if it was all settled, then they were free to vote. So 32,000, that's a lot of people. LeBron James has also put his money towards the fight. He's teamed up with Florida Rights Restoration Coalition, and they're sending out text messages to people who know convicted felons themselves, anybody out there who might be struggling to pay this bill that they have. Well, they will pay the bill for you. You get on out there and vote. So they're sending text messages out telling people who they need to contact if they do need the help. And yeah, they're trying to make a difference there. Okay, so far, I believe he's donated $100,000 towards that mission. They are definitely trying to make differences out there. I mean, people are really just trying to do what they can. It feels so almost desperate at this point, you know, with the election being so close. I don't know what is going to happen during this election. They have made everything seem so scary and unsure. You don't know if you're supposed to vote in person, in through the mail. You know, WhatsApp has made people believe that the mail is not safe enough, even though the fucking United States of America has been doing mail-in voting for years and years and years with absolutely no problems. Okay. It's just... Child, it is just. Anyway, that was my positive story. That was my positive story that's going on right now. And they're urging more celebrities and more people who just have access to the money, you know, just got to put it plain. People who have access to money that can make a difference financially, then, you know, they're urging people to get out there and do whatever they can to make it happen. All right, you guys, and then the Rona check-in. Let's talk about the Rona. I'm good. My family is good. Last week I didn't feel good. I had a throat ache and I was just waiting for it to go away every day and it didn't. So then I was like, Lord, do I got the Rona? And then Saturday something told me to just take some Alka-Seltzer Plus, and I did, and it was knocked out. Gone. Okay. Suffered for 4 fucking days with a throat ache that hurt so bad like I couldn't even swallow on one side. I was like, Lord, do I got what's going on? Anyway, you guys, yeah, we are okay here in the It's Rocks household. I hope that you guys' households are all well as well. I say that even though they're saying that the coronavirus numbers are going up again. We don't know if this is that second wave that they're that they've told us about. I mean, we are definitely getting towards the flu season. I've been getting emails and text messages and calls from Kaiser telling me that I need to go down there and get a flu shot. So that could be, I'm not sure if this is part of that situation, if the wave is happening and, people are getting sicker because the weather is getting colder. It definitely has changed here. Today is probably the warmest that it's been all week, and it's humid, and the fucking mushrooms is growing in my grass, which just grosses me out. I'm so grossed out by these mushrooms. Haven't had mushrooms in 2 weeks because it hasn't rained, and then here today, as soon as it looked like it was about to start raining, here the motherfuckers popping up again. Just grosses me out. Anyway, you guys, I'm getting off track. So the weather has changed. So I'm assuming people are getting sicker, even if it's just the common cold or maybe the flu, or could possibly be coronavirus, right? Okay. So, Yeah, I'm not sure why the numbers are going up. I do know, though, that the numbers always go up anytime that we've had like an event. We just came off of Labor Day a couple of weeks ago. So usually 2 weeks after the event, the numbers start to go up again. Okay. And so we probably are in that as well. All right. The numbers surged when the kids went back to school, and so that happened. Like 2 weeks later, we started seeing a lot of kids that were getting sick and bringing the virus home and everything. So it's a direct correlation between the two. And right now they're saying that, yeah, the numbers are going up. Now they're not as high as they had been. We somewhere around 39,000 a day. And we are somewhere around 1,000 deaths a day. Okay, actually it's under 1,000. It's 9 something up in the upper 900s. But so that's where the United States is. Now, we're not the only nation, we're not the only country that are having these problems. I mean, it's happening a lot of places. I mean, Europe is having problems, Spain. They said that India is about to just overtake this whole thing. Now, we up to 200,000 deaths. Okay, we crossed that number a few days ago. They're saying that India has 90,000 cases a day. And I'm not sure where their death toll is, but India is about to be the highest country with the amount of COVID-19 cases. So it's definitely not just the United States. I mean, this virus it is just everywhere. It's all over the place. And it ain't going nowhere. And I think that we know that now. So we all have to make adjustments in our lives to just figure out how to live with it. And I'll just continue to tell you: social distancing, washing your hands, wearing your mask, even though WhatsApp is telling you not to, even though he has coerced the CDC into telling you that it's a hoax, or that's not their exact words, but it might as well be. That you don't have to do this, that, and the other. Don't get tested. I mean, just, there's a whole bunch out there going on right now. Okay. WhatsApp just teased Biden for wearing a mask. Why is the mask so politicized? Why is this virus so politicized? Everything is so politicized. When it's just the fact. This is a health crisis. And we got it it's at the top of the list in the politics. Should not be that way, because we know the game of politics is so dirty. And even if they got to bend the facts to help them politically, like when it comes to the health of people and whether or not they're going to live or die, it should not even be in that arena, But everything is. I mean, WhatsApp figures out a way to make everything fucking political. He fucked up the NFL for a couple of years. All of that was going on. And, this virus situation is just one thing after another. He always figures out a way to just get himself immersed in it and fuck it all up and change the narrative and all of that. I'm so frustrated today. You guys do not know how these Let's Talk About It videos take so much out of me. Oh my God, it's so draining. It's so draining. And I'm going to be glad when the election year, when this shit is over, because I feel like I won't even have to do these anymore, after we can get past all this bullshit. It's just bullshit, you guys. It's just bullshit. But anyway, that's it. I got a lot I need to do today. I still got to do top of the blogs. And that's it. Anyway, you guys, everything that I've talked about today, please feel free to add your comments, how you feel about whatever is going on in the world today. Y'all drop that shit down in the comments below. Let's commiserate today, you guys. It is nothing to celebrate today. All right, you guys, make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm It's Rox. The channel's for It's Rox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.